Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Dominica's Opposition United Workers' Party demands the resignation of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Tuesday, February 7th from the CMC News Center in Bridgetown. I'm Dawn Paris. Thanks for joining us. Good evening. Supporters of the UWP gathered outside the Financial Center complex on Tuesday, demanding that Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt and members of his cabinet step down. Opposition leader Lennox Linton said the protesters had gathered to sign a petition and they came to speak through to power. The police had granted the UWP permission to hold the meeting from 11 on Tuesday morning to 3 p.m., but Linton accused them of invoking unlawful authority in their attempt to demand when the meeting should start and end. He told the crowd the meeting will finish when it's finished. Last month, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt denied that he was under investigation in the U.S. following the arrest of an Iranian national who had been the holder of a Dominican diplomatic passport. And Haiti officially now has an elected president a year after the last one left office. Jovenel Moïse was sworn in as the 58th president of the French-speaking Caribbean nation on Tuesday morning. He took the oath of office in a parliament chamber packed with Haitian lawmakers and foreign dignitaries from countries including the U.S., Venezuela, and France. CARICOM was also represented. Moïse had won the first round of elections in an October 15, 2015 vote, which was subsequently quashed amid suspicions of fraud. He again came out on top when fresh elections were held last November, emerging with 55% of the vote. And a federal judge has set April 3rd as the date for the trial of former Haitian rebel-turned-politician Guy Philippe, who was extradited to the United States last month. Philippe had previously pleaded not guilty on his first court appearance on charges of conspiracy to import cocaine and money laundering that carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. He was elected as a senator in the Haitian parliament during the November 20th elections last year, and political observers in the French-speaking CARICOM country said Philippe was arrested while he did not yet have all the immunities conferred on him as a result of his election victory. Vincentians are about to start paying more taxes as Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves presented a $976 million EC dollar budget in Parliament on Monday night. He announced that the value-added tax rate will increase by 1% to 16% from May 1. He also announced a doubling of the airport departure tax from 50 EC dollars to 100 EC dollars, and that starts February 15th. Vincentians will also have to begin contributing to relief and rebuilding efforts after natural disasters. Prime Minister Gonsalves says that no less than 10% of public debt has been incurred for disaster-related projects and initiatives, and to help offset that cost, government is introducing a 1% levy on consumption to be used to capitalize a contingency fund which is being established. The administration is also expanding the 2% telecommunications levy it introduced last year on outgoing calls. That levy will now also apply to incoming calls and data usage. And still in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the government has announced a ban on the importation of styrofoam products. The new measure goes into effect on May 1st. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves says the measure is intended to lower the costs of these environmentally negative substitutes for plastics, including styrofoam, and reduce the adverse effects that plastics have on the environment. St. Vincent and the Grenadines joins several CARICOM countries that have banned styrofoam, which is made of fossil fuels and synthetic chemicals. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has blanked calls for the implementation of a state of emergency to deal with rising murders in the Twin Island Republic. So far this year, 65 people have been killed, with 52 murdered in January alone. Speaking at the inaugural national consultations on Monday night, Rowley said while he regretted the number of killings, his administration has no plans to impose a state of emergency as being called for by some private sector groups and the opposition. He said authorities are still paying out a significant amount of money to people who were detained under the last state of emergency imposed in 2010, soon after the Coalition People's Partnership government came into office. Meantime, Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi says his office is tracking more than 20 death penalty cases to see whether any of those murder convicts will be hanged. He says the death penalty is still on the books and it will be carried out where possible.
Hangman is employed. There are 33 people who are subject to the death penalty right now. 11 of them have had Pratt and Morgan applied, so they can't be hanged. But we are tracking case by case in a case management unit at my office, and the first opportunity to apply the law, it will be applied. It hasn't been tracked for many, many years. This office represents the first time that it's being done, and you will expect that it will be done as soon as it is possible because it's the law of the land.
The Antigua and Barbuda government says it will only issue diplomatic passports to non-nationals on a 2-year basis. The decision comes as it moves to implement new measures to deal with the issuance of the travel document. Prime Minister Gaston Brown, speaking in Parliament on Monday, said that under conditions which passports are issued to non-nationals will be reviewed annually. Brown told legislators that Antigua and Barbuda, as a member state of the international community, adheres to obligations under international law, and these include the conduct of international relations in conformity with international treaties. He said the only exceptions will be the travel documents held by the Governor General and his spouse, the Prime Minister and spouse, ministers of the government and spouses, and to diplomats accredited by formal agreements to other states and international and regional organizations, as well as their spouses and immediate dependent family members. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, Jamaica's Prime Minister is being accused of being silent on crimes against women and girls. Stay with us.
Welcome to my island. Welcome to my Caribbean island. Welcome to my island.
Maybe in my next life, I'll become a golfer.
Make your special event in Barbados a memorable one. Let Pangrove Elegant Events transform the concept of your dreams into a magical reality. We provide everything you need for your event, from the understated to the stately. Our team can reimagine your indoor or outdoor space, or explore the scenic, lush gardenscape of our event venue at Sugarland Gardens. Celebrate life's milestones with Pangrove Elegant Events and Sugarland Gardens, and experience the elegant side of Barbados.
Round Hay Pharmacy now has 2 locations to fill your prescriptions promptly and efficiently. Our branch at One Accord Plaza is open daily, including Sundays and bank holidays. Also, check out our new drive-through location at Warren's Healthcare Complex in Michael, the first and only drive-through pharmacy in Barbados. For more information, call Round Hay One Accord Plaza at 421-7863 and our new drive-through branch at Warren's in Michael at 424-5574.
Jamaica's Prime Minister is being accused of being silent on crimes against women and girls. Residents of Allentown in Kingston on Tuesday morning held a demonstration in the vicinity of the Ministry of Finance calling for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to take strong action to protect women and children. They're accusing Prime Minister Andrew Holness of being silent on the spate of murders of men, women and girls across the island. They claim the Holness administration has failed to adequately address the problem.
The government no talk to the nation about the young girls them. And now we not see for the government. Mr. Prime Minister, you not talk to about what you want to hear. We want to know what go on with the little girl them. Yes, we not see up on TV if a mama fish dead a long time over every dead body about. Yes. Mr. Prime Minister, what's happening to our children? Oh, you're not talking about with children. Let's talk about what's happening. Come talk to me. And come out, come talk, make we hear if you love me or not. But you don't like me. You kind of come out over the force and come out, come talk long time. The man a run from me. Eh? What happened? You don't have any heart. What kind of heart you have? Iron heart.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastanet on Tuesday assured public servants that a re-engineering of the public service will not mean a loss of jobs. But he said that there is need to get more out of the 450 million EC dollars that's being spent on salaries for public servants each financial year. Chastanet says the only way that can be done is by reorganizing and training so that people are better equipped to perform their duties. He said the reform will best inform how to utilize the manpower within the service. And in an apparent reference to plans by government to either privatize or close the debt-ridden state-owned Radio St. Lucia, Chastanet said, quote, "Things that we believe can be better done by the private sector, let the private sector do them," end quote. More children have access to the internet as technology plays an increasingly significant part of our lives, and their concerns over their safety online. That was the focus of telecoms provider Flow this morning. That's Tuesday morning as they joined in the observance of Safer Internet Day. Vice President of Technology at Flow Barbados, Nicole Lane, says this is a major concern across the Caribbean. She says the company receives several complaints of online harassment and bullying, and she has been explaining to students of one primary school the importance of safe and responsible use of the internet.
The internet is a brilliant place to connect, to discover new things, to learn, to be creative, but it is really to be cautious and to be vigilant, to ask yourself the questions before you post something online, before you upload something, whether or not, who's the audience? Who am I sharing this with? Is this going to affect my online reputation? When then I start to look for a job and my boss looks at my profile, is this something I'm going to be proud of? Is this something I'm going to be embarrassed by? Would I be embarrassed if my family sees this? Who's the audience? Do I need to post this online? Is this something that is funny or is this something that is hurtful? Those are all things that I want people to be aware and be asking themselves before they do that posting, just to make sure, they're sending the right message and we are respectful of each other.
And in Guyana, the Ministry of Public Health is floating the idea of organ donation. Minister Valder Lawrence says the issue has been discussed.
Some of the doctors have spoke to me about it. I have had a short discussion with the CMO about this matter. He has indicated to me that there is need for that, given the way how medicine have moved on, and we are lagging behind in terms of that. We are going to look at a draft and begin discussion around that draft.
The minister stated that she is committed to ensuring that the legislation and essential regulations are placed in the local law books. But she is mindful of the importance to protect the country from transplant tourism and organ trafficking.
If you note, we still have a lot of people asking for money to go to various countries so that they can have medical access. And as a result of that, that tells you that we still have a lot to do here in Guyana. And so we have to bring our legislation to the point where it can provide for all the new methodologies, all the new technologies, all the new drugs.
Additionally, officials from the Ministry of Public Health and representatives of the Attorney General's Chamber are scheduled to hold further talks to assist Guyana build legislation to guarantee donor and recipient safety.
Most of all, we have to place great emphasis on education and awareness, because many times we do things and we do not speak to our people first. And so we want to change that approach and to ensure that we make our nation aware of what we're going to do and why we're going to do it and why it is necessary for us to do that. So we can get that buy-in from the public and they can be champions of such legislation.
That report from Ayana George of HGP TV. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, says experts now consider Zika to be a long-term public health challenge. This follows the declaration by the World Health Organization's Emergency Committee on Zika that the epidemic's emergency phase is over. Experts are nevertheless still grappling to understand the mosquito-borne virus as the world marks 1 year since a global public health emergency was declared over the rapid spread of the virus from Brazil to 75 other countries. PAHO's latest update lists 48 countries and territories in the Americas with confirmed transmission of the virus through mosquitoes since 2015. 5 countries in the Americas have reported sexually transmitted Zika cases. Some 200,000 cases have been confirmed, more than half from Brazil, where 2,618 children have been born with confirmed Zika-related congenital syndrome. PAHO says the risk assessment of Zika has not changed globally, and the virus continues to spread geographically to areas where competent vectors are present. And ahead in Newsline Sport, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force score a win over Windward Islands Volcanoes as the regional Super 50 continues.
Welcome to my island. Welcome to my Caribbean island. Welcome to my island.
Maybe in my next life, I'll become a golfer.
Round Hay Pharmacy now has 2 locations to fill your prescriptions promptly and efficiently. Our branch at One Accord Plaza is open daily, including Sundays and bank holidays. Also, check out our new drive-through location at Warren's Healthcare Complex in Michael, the first and only drive-through pharmacy in Barbados. For more information, call Round Hay One Accord Plaza at 421-7863 and our new drive-through branch at Warren's in Michael at 424-5574.
Welcome back. A man of the match career best 5-wicket haul from West Indies speedster Shannon Gabriel inspired the below par Trinidad and Tobago Red Force to a convincing 32-run victory over Windward Islands Volcanoes Monday night. Right armer Gabriel ripped the heart out of the Volcanoes' run chase with a spell of 5 for 33 to send them crashing for a disappointing 182 in the 47th over in pursuit of a modest 215 for victory at Coolidge Cricket Ground. Sunil Ambrose was excellent in a career best unbeaten 75 off 82 balls, but the rest of the batting faltered yet again as only Kavem Hodge with 27 and Captain Liam Sebastian 25 managed to make it past 20. Red Force had earlier turned in an ordinary batting effort of their own to be dismissed for 214 with 13 balls remaining in the innings. Opener Evan Lewis struck a typically flamboyant 75 off 69 balls, while Nicholas Alexis chipped in with 46. There were two of just four players in double figures as Red Force collapsed, losing their last 7 wickets for just 34 runs. Off spinner Shane Shillingford, left arm spinner Hodge, and seamer Kesrit Williams finished with 3 wickets each. The victory carried Red Force to 17 points, 7 adrift of Group A leaders Leeward Islands Hurricanes, while Volcanoes remained 4th on 8 points with little hope of advancing to the next round. Meanwhile, Gabriel has hailed Trinidad and Tobago Red Force's bowlers. He said they had compensated for a weak performance at the crease.
Yeah, I think it was a great performance. Knowing we fell short by about 40 runs on that wicket day, so we know going out there to bowl, we are under pressure as a group of bowlers, but we have been bowling well throughout the tournament thus far, me, myself, and that experience with Ravi to the top there, taking the team off to a good start. And just things didn't work out for Ravi today in the early spell, but I think he bowled well, and things happened to go my way, and I ended up picking up 2 quick wickets, which gave our team a good boost.
Although Red Force have lost just 1 in 5 outings to be second in Group A on 17 points, their batting has remained brittle throughout the tournament. On the 3 occasions they've batted first, they've struggled with totals of 193, 226 and 214. But Gabriel says the side remains positive.
The guys keep encouraging each other. We know we haven't been doing too well as a batting unit, but we just have one more day rest to reflect, to play against Kent on the other day. So we hope we can get that situated.
Attorneys represented embattled Jamaican athlete Nesta Carter believe the International Olympics Committee, the IOC, misinterpreted the rules regarding his case, which is now before the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Carter tested positive for using a banned substance at the Beijing Olympics and is now appealing that decision. But his attorney is arguing that the IOC's case may not apply to his circumstances.
Well, methylhexanamine is like something called 2-aminoheptane, right? Which may be all well and good, and the IOC references an earlier decision of 2009 that says that, specifically in relation to methylhexanamine. But that decision in 2009, at paragraph 91, if anyone wants to read it, says we have that rule to prevent against designer drugs. This is not a designer drugs case. Methylhexanamine has been known since at least 2006, if not 1944. Listed. Its basic principles of natural justice and fairness dictate if you're going to end people's career, if you're going to take away Olympic medals, then list it for known stimulants.
Staying with athletics, Cayman Islands Sports Minister Osborne Bodden says the government is willing to support any initiative that will take the country's athletic program forward. His comments came as Cayman awaits the findings of an assessment done by Michael Johnson Performance, a company owned by the former American sprint champion. In this report from Cayman 27, we hear that Bodden is hopeful that the findings will bear fruit.
As the Cayman Islands Olympic Committee eagerly awaits the results of an assessment performed by the company of gold medal sprinter Michael Johnson, Sports Minister Osborne Bodden stands behind the initiative.
I'm supportive of it. I'd like to hope that it just doesn't fall on its face, as it were. I think the initiative was taken to get them here. We need to take advantage of that.
But with CIOC President Donald McLean admitting his organization has, quote-unquote, no plan for athletic development, can Michael Johnson Performance provide the infrastructure that is sorely lacking?
They do come into your country, and they can set up shop and, as it were, have someone on the ground and work with you towards that athlete's development, or you can have that athlete go to their center in Texas.
And with government already supporting the elite program whereby athletes are identified and then funded up to $40,000 to continue their training as Caymanian Olympic hopefuls, are the CIOC and government on the same page?
It should be a partnership, and I would expect that the Olympic Committee will find the resources to work with government on this.
Switching sports now, Bermuda's under-17 national football team is without a coach after he skipped traveling with the team to Trinidad and Tobago last year for a CFU competition. ZBM's Earl Basden reports.
Yeah, it is true. I have tendered my resignation with the National Caddy Under 17 team due to some unfortunate circumstances.
That's the comment from Dennis Brown, the former Bermuda Football Association Under-17 national coach. Brown stated he was suspended from the program because, in the BFA's words, he abandoned the boys by not traveling with the team to the CFU Under-17 World Cup qualifiers in Trinidad back in September.
I tendered I sent in a letter of appeal in relation to that on December the 23rd. I got information back from the appeal this week. They had the appeal without me being present. They sent a letter to say that they were upholding the findings of the PDC. So I had no choice but to tender my resignation because in my personal opinion, it's total disrespect for somebody who has been in the program for over 35 years. And I think the sanctions were too harsh, and it's having me being a scapegoat for other people's failings.
Bermuda Football Association's Technical Development Director Maurice Lowe would only confirm that the BFA has accepted the resignation of Coach Brown.
We think that it's inappropriate to go beyond the confirmation of his resignation, other than the fact that Dennis was found to have broke the terms of his employment with the Bermuda Football Association. He had a disciplinary process, he had an appeals process, and then, from that, he didn't think that the punishment or ruling that was handed down was appropriate, and as a result of that, he resigned.
And finally, in horse racing, Barbadian riding ace Patrick Husbands is once again up for Canada's Top Jockey's Honour, the Sovereign Award. The 43-year-old has been nominated along with two others ahead of the annual Sovereign Awards ceremony, which is scheduled for April 13th. Veteran Husbands has already won a record 8 Sovereign Awards for Top Jockey, the last coming in 2015 after he captured his 7th riding title during the 2014 campaign. His previous Sovereign successes came between 1999 and 2009. And that's where we wrap up sports. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
The jonconu's fife, the rhythm of the drum, the strum of the pan, the lilt of the voice from island to mainland. All pigments and tones, old and young, his and hers, all we are one. You, we, me. This is UE TV.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
A recap of the major developments of this day. Dominica's opposition United Workers' Party demands the resignation of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. And in sport, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force score a win over Windward Islands Volcanoes as the regional Super 50 continues. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports around the clock, log on to cananews.com. We'll be back here tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and good night.